stitch, and tonight I'm going to talk about something called overdye. Overdye is when you take an article of clothing and you change its color. The way the color gets changed, by the way, is a pretty lengthy process. It's a pretty hardcore process as well, and I've watched it firsthand myself back in the early 90s when we were overdyeing just about everything and anything. Why were we overdyeing everything and anything? Because, well, fashion went into all black at one point, and vintage is very, very colorful. The other thing that happened is that we never ever thought stonewash would ever come back ever again. So we were taking tons and tons and tons and tons of Levi stonewash jeans and jackets and Wrangler and Lee and all the marks that did all the stonewash during the 80s, and we were overdyeing it into other colors. And I'm going to give you guys some examples of that right here, right now. So I want you to imagine, by the way, first of all, you don't even have to imagine. I'm going to show you right now. This is stonewash, guys. This is stonewash right here, right? It's a particular type of denim that's made to look like it's been hit by stones, guys. It's like denim that's been hit by stones. That's why they call it stonewash. So I'm going to put that back right over here. And then I'm going to show you something that was stonewash that got overdyed. So this is a fun example of taking a stonewash jean jacket, so you can still see the stonewash in it, right? It's when you overdye something, what happens is that it's going to pick up on all of the natural fibers. So this is all the cotton in here got very, very red. The things that didn't overdye are going to be the polyester or the synthetic that's within the material itself. So for instance, some of this didn't overdye because that's not 100% cotton. If it were all cotton, the whole thing would have come out completely red. So the process of doing this, by the way, so what we would do, we would take like van loads of clothing and bring it out to Brooklyn, when Brooklyn was a lot more industrial, by the way, and you drop it off, and there'd be these machines, the plates. I mean, the people that work there, by the way, must have pretty intense health issues because, I mean, the smell of the stuff is unbelievable. So what they would do, they would have to put it into like these huge machines, one big machine after another down the line. The first machine strips everything. It just strips the color out of everything. Then it sends it into the second, and that's where the color goes in. Then it sends it into the third, which is the rinse. Then it sends it into the fourth, which is the salt, and the really, really, really boiling hot water that they use to keep all the colors and all the dye in. And I can guarantee you something, guys. Once that process is done, you could take the hardest denim on the planet and put it through that process. It's going to come out nice and soft, and the color that it becomes, by the way, stays forever. It doesn't fade and it doesn't rinse out. Okay, so these are colors that are steadfast. Remember that, guys? Steadfast and permapress and all that kind of stuff. So it's all made to stay in the color. So when you wash these, the colors are not going to get all over your other clothes. Okay, I'm going to show you a few other examples of what we were doing. And we did everything, by the way. I mean, we were overdyeing. Overdyeing everything from thermals to crew necks to pants. I mean, you name it, we were overdyeing it. So I'm going to show you a few other examples of the 90s overdyeing. Right here, a big one were the army jackets, because the army jackets are back. And guess what? The 90s are back. I've mentioned that a few times now. So these are overdyes from the 90s that I have in my hands right now. We have some purple. We have the rust. I love the oranges. I love the colors, you guys. And guess what? These all used to look like what? These all used to look like these over here. They were your classic, just right here, like the lighter ones, the heavier ones, the older ones, the newer ones. And once again, the process of stripping and overdyeing. So you can tell on these guys here, right, guys? So the parts that picked up on purple were what? All the cotton in there. And the parts that didn't, well, that's the poly blend that have to be in these materials. So there you go. So we have all those colors. Another thing that I love. Now this is something that I'm really, really into. I love when they take things like the leaf, tree, mossy oak. So this is the original, right? They're both Wranglers, right? Look at that. So this is the original, and this is the overdye. Look how cool that comes out after an overdye. I love the shadow of the trees on that. I think it's super duper cool. I have a few pair of these that I like to wear with different things. You notice I have a pair on right now. I have a pair of overdye in mustard. Desert Storm made mustard. So it brings it to a whole nother level. This right back over here. Another one, once again, the jean jacket. I'm going to give you a jean jacket. I'm going to show a shirt as well. And these are definitely overdyes. This was a jacket from the 80s. Probably was stonewash. Probably had some black and white or whatever that was over it. This probably was a black and white stonewash right here, you guys. That was overdyed into purple. Now, why do you see all the white stitching? Once again, stitching, that's not cotton, that's poly, you guys. That's why I didn't take. So sometimes when you do the over dyes, they come out really, 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 really cool, depending on what's going to over dye and what isn't. One of my favorite ones, and you're just going to have to imagine this, were the thermals. Now thermals, you guys, you know, they have like little waffle on them. And so we would over dye those black, because like things were really black and white. And what's really cool about that is that they came out black and white. The waffle part, they're poly and cotton, so they would come out almost like checkerboards. So you might want to try that at home. If you do try it at home, you might want to try one of the dyes that you find at the fabric stores. Now remember, it's not going to be like this, because these are professionally done, you guys. These are done in, like I said, in professional places with big vats of huge machines that pull all the colors and put the colors in and do all the rinses. If you do it at home, it's like Rite-Aid or Right Dye, and you can do it at home. Just going to make sure that you use the right amount of salt and hot water in order to make the dye stick. So over dye, you guys, it's a 90s thing. It's back. Go out, find some really cool over dye and wear it and have fun with it and mix it all up. All right, we'll see you.